Warning: to avoid slanderous statements being made or unconstitutional censorship of this channel, I have to state that what you're about to hear is an opinion based on my own research or experiences, and although you may not agree with it, my opinion and the right to express it are both protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Some of what you are about to hear may be unsettling, inflammatory, disturbing, or outright shocking. I'm a firm believer of independent thought, now referred to as dissent, and am considered politically incorrect. Because I may also speak without a filter, listener discretion is strongly advised. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please hit that like and subscribe button below to receive notifications of new posted content and help support the growth of this channel. This is Samuel Storm Callahan, and welcome. You are now in the eye of the storm. So apparently some folks of the overly sensitive type, I'm referring, of course, to snowflakes who I wish would just go ahead and melt and evaporate so I don't have to deal with them anymore. But apparently they're getting offended by me referring to Vice President Harris as Kamala. Okay, trust me when I say that's actually the nicest name that I call her, okay? But someone pointed it out to me that it's Kamala, not Kamala. Folks, I've lost count of how many people that I talk to on a regular basis that actually refer to her as camel toe, which I don't condone. I mean, that's just wrong. I mean, that's just insulting to something that typically is considered attractive. And when I say attractive, I'm actually referring to the camel toe, not Kamala Harris. But the reason I pronounce her name Kamala is because years and years ago, when I was a lot younger, there was a professional wrestler who worked for World Wrestling Federation, and his name was James Kamala Harris. Okay? His full name legally was James Arthur Harris, but he was known as Kamala, the Ugandan headhunter. And I mean, he wrestled under that name for years. And then some snowflakes got a little bit offended at the term Ugandan headhunter, so they actually had to change the name to Kamala the Ugandan giant. But the guy was well known all over the world. And if you want to look this up, I encourage you to do so just for your own information. The ring character Kamala was portrayed as a fearsome but simple-minded Ugandan. He wrestled barefoot, he wore a loincloth, he had his face painted with war paint, and he had, seems like it was stars and a moon painted on his chest and stomach. Sometimes he would come out to the ring wearing an African mask and carrying a spear and a shield. I mean, I remember watching this guy on Saturday Night's Main Event back in the 80s. Now, this guy was really into his character. And before he came to the WWF, he worked for several other organizations. But it's been said that when he was wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee, that he was so determined to develop his character and preserve what they refer to as kayfabe, that when he was out in public, outside of the ring, he refused to speak English and would only wear robes. This guy was really into it, okay? Now, Andre the Giant was largely responsible for bringing Kamala to the World Wrestling Federation in the mid-'80s. And in 1984, he was actually catapulted to superstar status because he actually challenged Hulk Hogan and won. Now, I know this is way off mainstream of what this channel is about, but people pose the question as to why I pronounce her name Kamala, and this is why. Because when I think of Kamala Harris, I actually think of James Kamala Harris, who was the wrestler that I used to watch when I was growing up. Now, let's face it, he was about as Ugandan as a Chevy Astro van, but he was really into his character, and he was very good at what he did and very good at making people believe something that wasn't true, okay? So in that respect, he has a lot in common with Kamala Harris that you guys know. I wholeheartedly believe, though, that James Kamala Harris would be a better president than the Kamala Harris that's actually on the ticket. And this is despite the fact that he unfortunately passed away in August of 2020. My condolences to his family. He really was a great wrestler, and she really would suck as a president. This is Samuel Storm Callahan, and you've been listening to The Eye of the Storm.